We're live, baby. We're here. Should I put this here? Should I put this here? Right there looks about beautiful, huh? By the way, got a little surprise for you guys. Daylight, Whitney Fight Island. I'd like to fight at 145. This quarantine, it has me heavy. But please let me fight. That's all I ask of you, please. All right, enough of that. We're here to talk fights. Fight Island, May 9th. Boomachinos, life, whatever else. Dominick Cruz versus Henry Cejudo. That's the matchup they're going with at bantamweight. They got Justin Gaethje versus Tony Ferguson, which all of this was supposed to be happening last night. I don't know if you guys saw it, but Tony Ferguson won. He beat his shadow fucking to death. So that was that. And he makes weight, unbelievable. The other night, Friday night, Tony makes weight 155. It's been a lot of talk in the news about this, whether or not this was good, this was bad. Here's the thing. Tony Ferguson's always in good shape. He does things unorthodox. He does things his way. Weight cutting is not the healthiest thing you could do for your brain, for your body. So obviously, from the outside looking in, the normal person's like, what are you doing? Like you're putting yourself through this stress. You don't need to do that. But here's the positive side is as a fighter, mental aspect is huge. And for Tony Ferguson, he knows he went through that camp. He did what he had to do. He told himself he was going to make weight on that date and he did it. That's a win in his mind for himself. And that's powerful in its own, and to make weight and to know that, you just made weight and you might have to make weight, May 8th now. Your body knows it's going to remember, oh, we just made weight, like 3 weeks ago. So we should be fine, and it's going to have that memory, that muscle memory of just having gone through the process. So when he goes to do it again, it's just going to be a little bit easier. So maybe that's why he did it. We don't know. Maybe he's just, doing his own thing and trying to prove a point. He has a chip on his shoulder. He's a funny guy to listen to in interviews. Really interesting. I love watching, hearing him talk. Sometimes I'm like, is he being mean to the person or is he just like this? Has a kind of like a little bit of an attitude. It's an interesting thing, but nonetheless, they got him versus Gaethje, and we'll start with that because this fight, came from the whole thing with this coronavirus and Khabib getting stuck in Russia and this and that, and he's with his family, and now you got Tony versus Gaethje because Gaethje steps in, and we're all wondering how's this going to turn out because Gaethje's taking out a short notice, and he doesn't have the preparation that Tony had. He had all these months and weeks to prepare for Khabib, the best fighter at 155, and now Gaethje's going to step in and fight terror like Tony Ferguson, who, bloodies up people, cuts them up with elbows. He's very unorthodox, hard style to fight, hard style to prepare for, and probably the only guy that most people think has a chance of beating Khabib. I would say Justin Gaethje is probably the next best bet. So, looking at this fight from like a perspective of like, do I want this fight to happen? Of course, I want, Tony Ferguson versus Khabib. I do not want that fight to get ruined. It's been booked so many times, so much anticipation. We all want to see that fight happen. Here's the issue. If Justin Gaethje goes in and steamrolls Tony Ferguson, we might never see that fight happen. Justin Gaethje might steal all that hype and he might be the next guy. And we're talking, hey, man, Justin Gaethje ran through Ferguson like he's the guy to fight Khabib. He's the guy to beat Khabib. And there's going to be a whole new story of events taking place if that's the case. So, I man, I like the fight selfishly, being quarantined, having no entertainment, no fights to watch, no nothing like that. Like, of course, I want to see Ferguson versus Gaethje. I mean, stylistically, that fight's amazing. Gaethje's been looking more tactical. He's looking better than ever lately. He's knocking guys out, but he's not brawling the same way. He's fighting a lot smarter. And I think against a guy like Tony Ferguson, who's taking a lot of shots, and in that Pettis fight, he showed that he can get clipped, he can get hurt and rocked, and yeah, he gets out of it and he rolls and he does funky stuff to get out of that situation. But Gaethje packs a different kind of power in his punch with his accuracy, with his right hooks, his left hooks, his inside dirty boxing. It could be a dirty, crazy interesting fight. I mean, Gaethje is a guy that goes in there and he has like 3 rounds that he needs to kill you or he's gonna start fading. You notice that in the Poirier fight when you watch Gaethje Poirier, like that fight was back and forth, and Gaethje had his successes in that fight, but when he couldn't put Poirier away, and Poirier came out in that 4th round fresher than he was, it was a problem. Tony Ferguson does not fade away. The guy's ready for 5 rounds. He's probably ready for 10 rounds. So you ain't gonna see Tony fade away. So that's the interesting factor in that fight is if the fight's gonna go for 4th or 5th round. Tony Ferguson's gonna have the edge there. But Gaethje might have that knockout power edge where he could put him away with one shot. It's a crazy good fight. Boom, baby. Decaf. Past 3 o'clock. I don't like to mess around with the caffeine. So we got decaf just to kind of pretend, we're doing a little routine here. But then you have I believe it's Felicia Spencer Nunez. It might be on the card. The card's stacked. Ngannou versus Rosenstruck. Cejudo versus Cruz, which is it's crazy. It was supposed to be Aldo. Many people were like, why Aldo? The guy's a legend. I get it at 145, but he lost at 135 to Marias, which many thought he actually won the fight, but he lost. And that's the bottom line. So, the UFC wasn't going to go the Marias rematch route because he, got clearly beat by Cejudo, got finished. So they're like, maybe we go Aljamain, maybe we go Peter Yan. But with this coronavirus situation, there's a lot of logistic factors. There's a lot of issues with travel and guys getting into the States and where's the fight going to be and this and that, which is a whole nother topic, with May 9th. Like, what's the difference between May 9th and the April 18th that fell through because Disney called it off? Like, where all of a sudden did Disney come around and say, hey, like, we're down now, we're good. May 9th, it should be fine. We don't know where things are going to be at, but yeah, you're good. You got our approval because, yeah, I believe Dana said he has the approval of the commission. He has what commission, I don't know, but he has the approval of the governor and the mayor. So those three, it's like, okay, it should be a go. But last time it seemed like a go at Tachi Palace, and then Disney, the higher ups, called it off, and he chose to, respect that choice. So I'm still confused and I'm still skeptical about May 9th, although I pray and I hope that everything clears up and everything's good to go because I want to fight myself, man. I want to fight by, mid-May, late May, early June, the latest. So, I got momentum coming off that win in January and I want to get back in there. So I'm sure a lot of fighters feel this way. And so we all hope it happens. But, I'm all over the place right now, but back to Cruz versus Cejudo. Stylistically, man, what a fight. Cruz is one of those guys. I love seeing him come back because he has that chip on his shoulder where it's like, people count him out. They talk the ring rust. Obviously, he wiped that away with the Mizugaki win. And now he's fighting Cejudo, Olympic champion, who I believe they actually shared the wrestling room in Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. And I remember Cruz saying something that probably hits home, when Cejudo hears it, like he was babied, he was kind of protected, and he was like that golden boy who, like, they didn't want him to get, hurt or beat or anything like that. They wanted to kind of protect him, give him the right partners. And like Cruz was talking about that and how he'll always have to deal with that. And that's a mental thing. Cruz is really good at the psychological warfare. And that's one of the aspects I'm looking forward to in this fight because Cejudo has been talking, his cringe stuff and, he's making jokes and kind of having fun with the whole lead up to these fights. But Cruz has got another level of intelligence, man, when it goes to, the psychological aspect of the sport. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And I can see Cruz winning this fight. Stylistically, he's such a hard guy to hit. I went back and I watched the Cruz versus Dillashaw fight. Man, what a genius level of defense that guy has. He's able to back up and kind of keep his movement, but throw strikes at the same time as avoiding strikes. It's like something crazy to watch. He's a real interesting style, man. And when you fight a guy like that, you got to draw him in, kind of like Cody Garbrandt did. You got to land a power shot, and you got to kind of get him phased and slow him down a little bit, and really try to figure out his movements and when he comes in and time those darting movements where he's kind of in, out, in, side, in, fake, out. Like he's always messing up with the angles and messing up your timing, and he's on the half beat a lot, and he's kind of faking and feinting, and then he's moving out and back in. It's man, frustrating guy to fight. I'd say him and John Dodson are probably like two of the most frustrating guys to fight at bantamweight for sure. But I see you guys commenting in here. In a couple minutes, I'll be quick with this part, but we'll get to some of these questions you guys have, of course. Another thing is Fight Island, right? What's going on with Fight Island? Supposedly Fight Island's real. Supposedly it's the infrastructure is being built. And where it is, we don't know, but it's being built and it's going to be ready by the end of May, early June. That's the word. If this is a real thing and this goes through, I raise my hand. I want to fight on Fight Island. This is, historic. This is unprecedented. This is something that's never happened. This is something that I think if the UFC could pull it off is going to be an annual huge highlighted fight night, whether it's a pay-per-view or a fight night. It's going to be a huge thing annually. I think they're going to turn it into like this prestigious event, Fight Island 1, Fight Island 2, whatever, UFC Fight Island 3. Like it's going to become something huge if they can get it done. And I want to be a part of that first event. I think that's going to be amazing, whether it's indoor, outdoor, maybe a stadium where the roof kind of comes off and, this and that. But, logistically, how are they dealing with building this infrastructure with the social distancing aspect? That's my question. Like, how are you getting a ton of people there to build an infrastructure to set things up and to be kind of close quarters with each other when we're trying to not spread this virus and kind of keep in a distant manner? So I don't know how that's working out, and that's kind of where I think a lot of skepticism comes in, and we'll see what the deal is with that. But I hope it happens. Throw my name in the hat right now. I'm not going to lie. I've been working hard twice a day, every day, but it's hard to keep my weight down with not the same quality and consistency of training with teammates and sparring and practices and stuff like that. And just a lot of things that I would do that I'm not able to do. And I'm not complaining because I put the work in and I feel good and I'm ready to fight. But making the weight is the hard part because it's not like I'm going to deprive myself calorie wise and how I eat. But with that said, my body has changed. I've been lifting weights more. I put on a little bit of muscle. I mean, I'm only, like, I'm not really like trying to, it's like, stay humble and shit. Like, that's the thing. But, hey, Fight Island, holla at your boy. I wrote a song. I put it on Twitter. Come on. Let's go. Hunter Azur, he's a bantamweight. He told me he's down to fight at 145. I'm down to fight at 145. What's the big issue here? Rankings don't really mean much, especially when, two guys like me and him are not really in the top 15 area. So it's all about winning. Let's get a win. We'll move back down to 135 as gyms start opening and, training starts, getting back to normal. Boom, bada fucking bing. Okay. We got some Twitter questions too, it looks like here. Yeah, so let's get to some of these questions, man, because these are crack-a-lack and these are really moving on down quick, huh? How do you, Austin Turner, how do you think you'd fare in a best of 5 series against Mike Spitt, who I don't know, in Call of Duty, which I've never played, and then BJJ? Well, BJJ, I mean, I'm going to boom Matina's ass. Let's be honest. But Call of Duty, probably wipe the floor with me. Have you ever lost a fight? What do you mean? Come on, dog. Aren't you a Boom fan? I'm 20-10, 20 wins, 10 losses. I lost 10 fights. Yeah, man, losing is part of the sport. In MMA, it's very, very hard to go undefeated. I highly respect guys like John Jones, if he hasn't cheated, and Khabib Nurmagomedov, especially a guy who we For the most part, no, has not cheated. I highly respect guys that can go undefeated in this sport. It's crazy hard. Mike Spiteri, what's your favorite color? That's a good question. I don't know if you see the wall behind me right here. This burgundy color. It depends on like what we're talking, clothes or just like looking at colors. If we're talking at just like looking at a color, probably like a nice blue, like a light blue. Um, if we're talking like walls, decorations, I like burgundy, I like olive green, like this color, and then the color of the wall. Man, I like all different colors. It's hard to pick a favorite. It's like a band, like who's your favorite band? Oh, I like all different kinds of music. Which female fighter has the nicest feet? Ooh, that's a good question. Well, I'm gonna say my girlfriend has the nicest feet, right? I mean, we can't go, can't fuck around here. We'll just leave it at that, if you know what I mean. Um, but yeah, I'm a feet guy. I like feet. Same questions for the males. All right, we're gonna pass on that question. Keeping it straight. Mike Spiteri, you think you could take Aljo, a little Long Island battle? That's funny you say that. Aljo's a beast, man. I'm actually supposed to train with Aljo tomorrow. Uh, That'd be a tough fight, man. Aljo's got a crazy good style. He's got great kicks, hard to hit. He's keeps you at bay with his kicks really well. He's longer. He's got great jujitsu. He's a really tough fight, man. We train, here and there. It's been a while. We actually came up together in Ithaca, with Team Bomb Squad training for years, and then we kind of split. He went to Longos. I'm at like Long Island MMA and 10th Planet Jiu Jitsu, more Eastern Long Island, but. Yeah, whenever I could train with Aljo, it's great work. Light, medium, or dark roast? I prefer a dark roast for the most part. French press, I do like a medium roast. I try to grind the beans right before I make my French press roast. That's like the freshest cup of coffee you're gonna get. If you can get whole beans and a grinder, grind them up right before you make it. Oh, it's delish. I did that earlier today. I got a decaf espresso right here. So, but I love dark roast. Probably if I had to pick. Favorite blend of coffee? Well, I go through different phases, man. I was on like an espresso kick for a while, and then I went to like a French press kick. And I think because for me, like I just love the whole situation of drinking coffee. Like there's different reasons, like for espresso, I like espresso because it's less liquid, to have to be in your system, holding on to that liquid. If you're gonna go work out soon or something like that, you probably want espresso versus drinking like a big amount of coffee liquid. But if I'm chilling doing like a boom breakdown like this, usually I like an actual cup of coffee, like a French roast, a nice maybe um oh, you know who has great coffee? Immortal Coffee, Matt Brown's company. They got some really good tasting coffee. Their Italian espresso roast is unbelievable. I have them sending me some stuff for the French press, so I'm gonna uh, put that on my social media as well. I'm sure that's gonna be delicious. Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts? Oh, Starbucks all day for quality taste, for sure. And if you really want to get reckless, of course, Starbucks. Milk or half and half or black? Really close to fights, I'll go black. I'm not a big fan of it. It's kind of boring to me. Like, I'll do it for the health reasons and just to kind of like, you know, decrease calories here and there, if I want to get real specific. But I love organic half and half. I put a touch of that in my coffee. That's what I prefer over anything. The worst is almond milk. I don't know how people drink almond milk in their coffee. It tastes like cardboard. Uh, I hope Cruz whips the mat with Henry. Yeah. Um, I like seeing upsets like that. I like seeing like crazy stories like that. So I wouldn't mind seeing that either. That'd be pretty cool. Aljo deserves that fight. Yeah, I don't disagree, man. The problem is his timing. They believe, I don't know if they offered him the fight, but he was injured. I think he's still healing his injury. He's still kind of getting back to 100%. I think he wants to fight in June. So does Sandhagen. So they might match them up. Or Aljo versus Edgar is another good fight. Do you ever drink tea? Yeah, I drink tea frequently, usually when it's colder, like in the winter time. Even now is not bad. I usually drink it late at night. I drink like the chamomile teas to kind of get me a little sleepy, or like some of the yogi teas are really good. Echinacea, immunity teas, stuff like that. Boom, what's your morning routine? My morning routine, wake up, unfortunately grab my phone and start scrolling a little bit, check some emails, see if social media is popping off, any news on Twitter. That's usually where I get my news from, like MMA stuff. I don't really watch the regular news. Then I kind of get up, take a piss always. If I, you know, lately I've been waking up like fucking 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, taking a piss. Then I wake up, I have to pee again like at 8:30. Go downstairs. I drink water with some of these tabs that I take for like it's like some kind of hydration things that I got. I forget the name of the brand, unfortunately, but I take those in the water. I drink like a 16-ounce glass. Then I pour regular water in there. I drink another glass. I sip that. And I put the kettle on to make my oatmeal, a cup of oatmeal with some hemp seeds, some chia seeds, strawberries, blueberries, banana, peanut butter, honey. Oh, no, no, not honey, cinnamon, and protein, whey protein isolate. And that's like my breakfast usually, especially if I'm going to have a good training session after that. Then, after I'm done with my oatmeal, I kind of have the coffee going, pour myself a cup of coffee, go upstairs. Usually by that time, I already got to take a shit. So I take a shit, but I kind of take a sip of the coffee to have that kind of run through nice. And then I get back, and then I have this nice coffee waiting for me. And then I'm like, fuck, why is this coffee not hot anymore? I got to go down and heat it up. So I go down, I heat it up. And then I drink my coffee, and I'll either meditate a little bit, or I'll read. I have a book right now, Stillness is the Key, or I'll watch the rest of a podcast that I was watching, whatever, and then I go to my training session. Whip wipes? What? Oh yeah, I know what you're saying. Um, that was a good question. Do you wash your body first or head first in the shower? Oh my god, this guy's going nuts. Probably wash my body first. Yes, Fight Island, baby. That's right. Ryan Ormiston. Hey, Brian, longtime fan, first time commenter. Just want to ask you how well you think you would fare against my friend Mike Spin in Call of Duty. I don't know why people keep it. I don't even play video games. I mean, I don't think I'd do too great, but hey, thanks for the question. Maybe I need to get into video games more. I mean, I play the Nintendo Switch once in a while, some Mario Kart. That's about it, man. I'm not a big gamer. Yes. What was your favorite Selden gourmet food joint? Oh, dude, Wings and Things, unbelievable. I don't believe it's in Selden. I think it's Farmingville, but Wings and Things or Dairy Queen if you're trying to go deep on a cheat night. Um, why just the one fight poster in the background? You have any other MMA stuff displayed? I have some other stuff in my room, but like some of it's like old fights and stuff like that, and then also, I have a couple posters, but I don't have that much room on my walls. That's the big issue. But I have other fight posters that I have like stashed away downstairs that I'm collecting until I get my own house going, decorated, and then we'll put all the posters up, and I'll have kind of like a man cave room where I do my podcast, my music, stuff like that. What do you think about Nurmagomedov, 135-pounder? I think his name is Umar. Yeah, Khabib's cousin. I haven't seen a lot of his fights. I think I've seen a couple in PFL or World Series of Fighting back when it was that. I mean, if he's Khabib's cousin, he's definitely knows how to fight. I'm sure he's a good grappler. I'd have to see more of his fights, but I'm sure he's going to be a good threat in the division. He's probably training with a lot of great guys. So, Kevin Lapointe, are you going to start an OnlyFans account? No, I'm not. Jeez. This is craziness. The Sugar song was amazing. Thank you, Herman Jones. Uh, how do you feel about cheaters? Oh, I don't like it, man. I I pride myself on being someone who's never cheated, who's worked hard and got myself here, and will continue to do so till the end. And I think that's something that you're gonna have, on your subconscious when things are all done. You're gonna know what you did right, what you did wrong, and that's gonna carry on with you till the end of your days. So that's you know, I'm not a fan of it. Obviously, I feel like, those people deserve to be taken out of the sport, and I don't believe there's a room for any of that in this sport. Unfortunately, science is, hard to catch up with. A lot of these chemicals are being made, and the tests for them to catch them are not out yet, and so that's how they get away with it. But fuck them. UFC won't give you Sugar Sean because they're scared of him getting boomed. Yeah, you're damn right. That would be a fun fight to watch. Yes, sir. I will smoke him, smoke all his weed, but I'll let him take a hit. That's what I said. Because I'm not that mean. But hey, I think that's about it, man. We're kind of, quick and easy. It's fun to talk to you guys. I should do more of these because at least I got some of you in here asking some good questions. I want to keep it interactive if possible, as it makes it a little bit funner. But yeah, we'll always try to have some kind of topic to touch on. Let's see if we have anything on Twitter here. Um, Robert Paget. Robert PCOD on Twitter says, out of all of your fights, which one would you suggest a fan to watch? I think that's a good question. I would pick two. I'd pick my fight against Henan Barrow, and then I would pick my fight against Damian Stasiak. Those two were like 3-round fights that were back and forth, that were a lot of excitement, a lot of combinations, a lot of, a lot of crazy shit going on, especially the Stasiak fight because he hurt me, I hurt him, and I got a late TKO finish in the third round. So definitely check that fight out. That's an exciting fight. But thank you guys for tuning in. We'll do this again sometime. I'll announce it on my social media so you guys could stay tuned and be alerted. Um, Ferguson Goat, what's up, man? Appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll see you guys next time. Boom, baby.